Today, I'm going to walk you through how to build a successful TikTok shop. We're going to talk about products, best practices, how to do the marketing, how to get reviews, how to scale, and a lot of good stuff. Now, not only have I been in the e-commerce space for over 8 years, we've done tens of millions in sales, a lot of that being on Shopify, running paid ads. We've also done a lot here on multiple TikTok shops. This is my newest one that I launched just after Q1. We started like April is really when the sales first started coming in. It's done about $100,000 so far. It's become very consistent, very profitable. And this brand, teaser coming soon, also does another 30,000, maybe 25,000 a month between Shopify and Amazon already. We just launched those. So what I really want to share with you today is help you understand why we start on TikTok Shop and it's become such a successful launch pad. I run a pretty large consulting company we've had for about 6 years, and we help people mostly scale, but a lot of people start. And what we've been recommending to people is use TikTok as a launch pad if you're trying to build a brand, prove your concept there, and then you can go out to other marketing streams. We've even had clients do $2 million a month. We're like, I'm directly in there running their ads. Yes, we've had quite some crazy success stories, but what I want to show you today is TikTok Shop specifically because this opportunity is just crazy and a lot of other people are doing it. So these are people inside of our group, 2 $10,000 days back to back, 65% margin. You can't really get that stuff on Facebook ads, right? Hitting the first almost 1K days, $900. There's a whole flywheel here with momentum, and I'm going to show you how to activate that flywheel to get this working for you. So step one is going to be getting the product to sell. The reason I'm starting with this over any other thing, nothing happens until you have something to sell. And my famous line with TikTok Shop is the fastest way to get results is to go slow when it comes to selecting your product. Why? Because oftentimes you have to get inventory or there's like more setup involved. You need graphic design. It's not slap together some drop shipping store and be live the same day. So because of that, there's so much setup. You want to kind of make sure what you're doing on the first go around works. So let's talk about products. There's 3 ways you can get your product. You can order inventory, okay, for a stock product that exists on Alibaba or whatever, something that you're not creating. You can manufacture your own product. Dude, this could be anything. Hats, supplements. I have a supplement brand that does really well. You can manufacture your own stuff. Okay, and there's pros and cons to all of these. And then POD, print on demand, which is a large thing people do a lot of. Those are really your 3 options here. Again, they all carry some huge pros and cons. Before we go through that, want you to ask yourself 2 questions if you're in this startup phase or haven't decided. Number 1, how much money do I have to start? And this is a really important question. We'll go through it. And number 2, do I have something specific in mind that I'm passionate around and want to build a brand for long term? I sold $2.1 million of dog water bottles when the virus hit in 2020. I also sold like $1 million of these like 3D wall clock things. I've sold so much of the dumbest stuff that I didn't care about. I just kind of slap stuff together and know how to run ads. Like it works. I make some money and then it just dies off. Very different. I don't really like doing that a lot with TikTok Shop, but there's a way to do it. So we're going to talk about this because these 2 questions, your answer will determine how you proceed. I'm not involved in this. I'm just helping guide you. Okay. So question number 1, the money conversation. The inventory costs money, plain and simple. I mean, you could get away with like $1,500 to $2,000 maybe for inventory cost if your product is pretty cheap. You know, we like to order at least a few hundred units. That's a couple grand. If you go the manufacturing route, like I mentioned, MOQs are higher. For supplements, most manufacturers are 12-week lead time minimum. So you're 3 to 5 months out for ever getting a product. And the MOQs can be 10,000 units. 10,000 at $8. Do you have 80 grand laying around just to put into inventory? Right? There's risk there. So a lot of stuff here. There is definitely an element of risk that's introduced when buying inventory for something new. It's always possible it doesn't sell well. And the final thing that I'm going to bring up is your money stays on the street for a while. Okay, this is the cash flow conversation with TikTok. If you haven't watched the YouTube video I did where I broke down doing over $6 million a month consistently with an e-commerce brand, it's like a 40-minute documentary. You'll want to check out that YouTube video I did recently. But we talk a lot about cash flow, right? Fronting money for inventory, how that all works. So this is just something to consider is like how much money you want to be putting into this. Because there's options where you don't have to get inventory, but it's something to consider, okay? Now, number 2, if you have no product in mind, that's fine. Super chill, doesn't matter. But then it's straight to the drawing board. You got to be doing research and figure out what it is you're going to sell. Okay, you don't have to be passionate about something necessarily. General product research, finding stuff that works. You're going to order what we call a hard good. This is a product you're not customizing. It's nothing special. It is available on Alibaba. There's a lot of stuff around this, like how you pick it, and that can be a whole separate video in itself. So let me know in the comments if you'd want me to make something on like TikTok Shop product research specifically. But we also have a school group that goes through all that. Like we have a ton of stuff inside of there. But Alibaba is probably going to be your friend for sourcing the first few hundred units. You don't need anything fancy. You don't need a direct relationship with the manufacturer. Just get a couple quotes for whatever product you're thinking of and order 100 to 200 of them. It's not that deep. It's not going to cost you all that much. But remember, ask yourself when you're looking for products, what can you make content for? If you're a bald 40-year-old, it's probably going to be a little difficult to sell a hair curler. Now, maybe you have a wife that has hair and is willing to do videos, right? The big piece of this that you're going to see throughout this little presentation I got for you is content is so crucial. It's so important for TikTok Shop. It's massive. It's everything. So keep that in mind. Now, how do we sell with no inventory? This is a unique angle for TikTok Shop. Most people haven't really gone the drop shipping route, and it's something that's growing that I'm seeing work, and there are some really cool opportunities to do it and at least like springboard a brand. If you don't have a ton of money for inventory, you don't want to risk it or take all the time to order inventory. It's a month or two of waiting, right? So you have a couple options here. It's called print on demand, right? POD is one of the things we showed you earlier. Printify is a platform that allows you to do this. And it's really interesting. They have a lot of products. You can connect to Shopify and like they do custom t-shirts, and they just print the orders one by one, kind of like drop shipping. Now, a lot of their products aren't available for TikTok Shop, but they do have a TikTok thing. You can go under catalog here and go to TikTok Ready. So this is really cool because Printify allows you to do whatever you want. You got your basic stuff, your t-shirts, your sweatshirts, things that can be a little more difficult to try to, get cool margin with and like actually be making good money. Candle, you could probably brand that pretty good, but they have a lot of stuff, tote bags, and we can go all the way through. They got coffee. You could build your own coffee brand without needing to do the research, the manufacturing, the taste test, the samples, and ordering 10,000 of them. Like, it allows you to kind of get the ball rolling. So if you wanted to start a clothing brand, right, you don't have to order all that up front. You can prove your concept and your designs, get customers that are happy with what you're doing, and then from there you can go build custom stuff once you have the money. Right? So it allows you to kind of get into it. So I would highly recommend checking out Printify. Super cool platform. What a lot of people don't realize is this can add another stream of revenue with a new product. So even if you have a TikTok Shop with inventory, if you want to add more products on there, you can do that through Printify. But they've got a wide range of stuff. I'd really recommend going like the cool custom route, stuff that the margin's not as clear. Some people pay $10 for a candle, other pay $40. What's the difference really? It's branding. It makes that unclear margin range where you could maybe sell it for a little more. Again, coffee, super cool. You could lean on that it's organic or whatever it might be. But that's really nice. And again, you spend nothing up front. You fulfill each order one at a time, and it just syncs directly with TikTok Shop. So it makes it really easy. And that's why we've teamed up with Printify. You guys can check them out down below. I would highly recommend their platform because it allows you to do stuff that you normally couldn't do on TikTok Shop because they have a lot of restrictions around fulfillment, which has previously meant you have to have inventory. So I would highly, highly recommend that. Check them out down below. They're a super cool company. We've had a lot of people use them inside of our group. In fact, one of our guys, John, who's been inside my coaching group for probably 7 months now, is really good at making TikTok videos. And so he'll make funny t-shirts is really his thing, like political stuff and, like when Trump got shot and like put all that stuff on there. And yeah, it's more trendy, so it dies off. But I mean, $12,000 days, like I showed earlier, 2 10K days in a row, having a 7K day after that. I mean, he's been averaging 100 to 250K a month with a 65% margin for a long time. That's a lot of money. Now, I want to preface this. This is not like a long-term thing, right? Because this stuff just dies out. It's not a brand that's sellable. But he's getting the experience, he's learning how all this works, and he's making a lot of money. They can then fund the next project. So that's why print on demand is really cool. So I would definitely recommend checking out Printify. I will leave the link down below for you guys. Just another alternative option to look at. Now, a couple things to chat about. I just want to be open and honest about this. There's a lot of pros, and there's a couple cons, just like anything, okay? Number one, your margin, okay? Your margin is pretty much always going to suffer a little bit because you're not ordering inventory, you're paying a premium because you're ordering one by one. Plain and simple. So your cost is going to be higher. Now, it doesn't really matter all that much because you're just looking to prove your concept and you can still make good money. And then if you prove it, then you can order inventory. But so margin suffers a little bit. Number two, competition. People can kind of spin up a competitive design really quick. So again, go back to the example of what our guy John's doing, like with the Trump shirts, for an example, when he got shot. There was 10 or 20 sellers doing the same thing within 2 days, right? He spun his up within an hour. The next day he made 10 grand, right? So it's quick. You got to be quick on stuff. Now you can go more custom designs and whatnot that are like not time sensitive, but people can spin up a competitive listing to you pretty quickly. So that's something to keep in mind. And number three is the risk element. And here's what I mean by this. This is what most people don't get with print on demand. If I'm coming over here and doing custom designs, like on a towel or whatever else, like no offense, we've worked with a lot of people. Most people's designs are trash. Like they're just not good. So you have that element of like, unless you're an artsy person, like sketching stuff on one of those drawing iPads, like you know what you're doing, or you hire somebody. There's a whole element to like, why is my stuff not selling? I go look at it. It's like the worst looking product I've ever seen. And it's tough because it's custom. They made it, so they feel like it's good. There's a lot of bias going on there. So it's just difficult. And then they don't refer to it as what people call a winning product, which is a whole other conversation. But yeah, I really think print on demand is a cool option, so you can check that out. Now, product listing. This is a big thing. Like the listing is what people see when they go to buy, right? It's your website, if you will, through TikTok. Here's your priority list. Number one, once you have a product selected and whatever inventory sorted or it's on the way, you need photos. Specifically, 7 minimum quality graphic design photos. Where do you get this? If you are not handy, don't do this. Don't do it yourself. Spend $100 to $200. Hire somebody who works for $20 an hour on Upwork. Give them a max budget. Hey, $200 max. We need at least 7 photos, and have them do it. Deliver the project. It's very easy. I would go to Upwork to do this. This is where we hired our first person. I spent under $100 for some pretty good photos. And now we're spending thousands on 2 photos because guess what? Our listing's working. Everything is proven. The concept's proven on that new TikTok shop that I had showed you up here, right? Now I can invest the money back into this. This thing is printing good money. The brand is doing 40 to 50K a month with a really high profit margin, right? So it allows us to do other stuff. Number 2, pricing. And I want to make this very clear. Your listing, when people see this on TikTok shop, this is the order of what matters. Number 1, your photo is the most important thing. The second most important, this is in order, is your price, okay? Has to be dialed, okay? A lot of people actually get this wrong. Flash deals, running discounts, making sure you're priced competitively. Number 3, your product title. The title is right below there. So it goes photo, title, price. I think the price is more important than the title. But the title, think about the title as your description. And the reason that I put the description at the last is because, first of all, it is way down. Nobody really goes to look at it. They can get all the information these days if you have good graphic design. They probably saw a video, which is how they landed on the listing anyway. So they have some information. And it has no SEO relevance on TikTok, really, because it's not as much of a search-driven platform like Amazon. So I don't put that much importance on it, okay? And people can have their own opinions on this, but like, we talk directly with TikTok. Like, we've been assigned a rep, and the levels of people you only get when your company does 10 million plus a year in revenue, right? It's a different level of rep you get with TikTok. And so there's stuff here that I just want to point out. Like, this is what we're hearing internally. It's not just my opinion, okay? Now, your launch strategy. Once you have all this stuff kind of dialed, your listings put together, you get the product, how do we launch? What are we doing? Okay. I want to get specific for you. I like to give people that I work with an action list of what you should do every day. Okay. And I'm saying you do. Okay. Because there is going to be actions. You can outsource stuff, you can hire, but you just need to make sure this shit gets done at the end of the day. Okay. Number 1, minimum of 1x TikTok per day on your brand page. I would like to divert this back to an example here. Why is John doing $10,000 a day? I'll tell you why. Almost none of this is coming from affiliates. $0 of it is coming from ads. He's not boosting any posts. The only source of traffic really for him is the videos that they're making on his TikTok page. And he is making a heck of a lot more than 1 a day. In fact, that's pretty much all he does every day. He's just make 4, 5, 6 TikToks. He's got his sister help, and he hired another person. So they're cranking out, like many successful brands on TikTok, many pieces of content a day. So when you're starting, minimum 1 per day, and you should do this for 90 days before you even consider changing products or adjusting something. You can change your price in the meantime or whatever, your photos, but don't change what you're doing. Reach out to at least 30 influencers per day. Try sending out free samples to quality creators, people who've actually made at least a few thousand in sales for similar stuff. That's an action that we do every single day. And number 3, this is more in the first month, so it's not as long-term, gather reviews. This is really important for a new listing. People can see how many units are sold. They can see the reviews. All that is so crucial, so important for conversions. So here's what I do, and we'll talk about this. Have your family and friends order. And I'll talk more about this, but basically give it time. This should be a 90-day process. Whatever you decide to launch on TikTok, don't be giving up on 3 weeks, right? Like 3 weeks in, 4 weeks in. It's not the right timeline. You have to build the listing, get reviews. You want to be posting content. TikTok starts to reward you when you do those things. They will give you organic sales. It's a slower game. Organic content's big. Price yourself low to start. A lot lower than you think. Like whatever price you have in mind, lower it, okay? Getting affiliates on board is almost always necessary unless you're a sick product that's like good organically. Right? Like some funny thing, a viral thing that you can do organically, then you might not need affiliates. They're always good to have, especially for a viral product. But it's one of those things where like just focus on affiliates, reach out to people every single day. There's a lot of ways to do that. And in our school group, we go through like automated bots we use, the flows, the follow-ups, how we pay people, retainers, all that stuff. So you can always check that out. Creating organic content. I could sit here for 4 hours and go through this, but I think the content that you're posting on your page matters a lot. Study what works. There's a platform called KaloData. I'll leave a link below too. That's what we use. It allows us to see all the data for products. And in fact, you can go over here on it into products and I can see everything, all the top products, like this little hair thing. I can see exactly how much money it's generating, $2 million in the last 30 days. I can see all the affiliates that are promoting it, but I can see their videos. So this is where I can kind of build off the frameworks for what's working for similar products to mine. So use that, look at TikTok, kind of copy the viral hooks. The first couple seconds is always the most important. Evoke an emotion, make people excited, sad, happy, mad, piss them off. It doesn't matter. Like that's why the viral t-shirts for the Trump stuff is working well for, one of our clients because it's pissing people off. Half the people love it, half the people hate it. It works. Get good lighting, very simple stuff here. And again, you can hire somebody to do this for your posting one a day, friend, family, but it's also good to do it yourself, to learn the game. But just, you want content going out. That's big. Now, before we kind of near towards the end, these last 2 points are really important. Building reviews. How do you kind of get it going faster? This is stuff people don't do, because I'll tell you this, from working with people for 6 years that have more of a drop shipping mindset a lot, they don't give a shit about their customers. It's just a fact. And I'll tell you from my experience, I wanted to care about customers for a long time, but I didn't until I was really building a brand, something that I really care. I'd take care of the customer. If they want a refund, you get a refund, but really that giving a shit level. I don't know how to describe it. It's I didn't do that until I had made a lot of money and the money kind of didn't matter as much in the interim, but also I just wanted a real brand. I put the customers before anything. I don't care about the money behind the business. That's just been my mindset for a while, and it's been totally different. So here's how you kind of get that going, right? First 10, 20 reviews, friends, family, lower your price. If you're going to sell it for 25, maybe the first week of your product, put it at $10 with free shipping. You're breaking even at best, and send that link to all your friends and family. Offer to Venmo them back, Zelle them, send them cash, whatever, pay them back, but have people order and leave a review. If you are self-fulfilling, if you're the one fulfilling your orders, which is easy, you can order a Polino printer, a thermal printer on Amazon for $80, get some labels for $20, get some packages for $10. It's very easy to do. You can set up for $100. If you're doing this yourself, send handwritten thank you cards on a little, index card in every package. This is going to sound dumb. I never fulfilled one single order. I had over 600,000 orders shipped, tens of millions of dollars in sales, and I had never shipped one order. Didn't know the process of a label or whatever else. And the reason is because I used facilities. I automated it. I was on the ad side. I just didn't need to be involved. But now at TikTok Shop, I got really involved with the brand that I'm building. And I sent handwritten cards, and I sent out the first couple thousand orders myself out of my house, right? A different level of caring. But so handwritten cards, we saw a huge increase in our percentage of reviews that were left. So very, very important there. Place the customer above profits. Like I said, it's hard to do for many people, especially if you're just starting out, but trust me, it really is the right move, especially on a platform where reviews and stuff are so public and prevalent and important in the sales process. And I'll tell you, this is our SOP. This is my company's internal standard operating procedure. Anyone who leaves a 3-star review or less, including 3-star, right, gets a message automatically. Okay, I'm working hard to improve it. Hey, did you not like it? Maybe we can get you a different flavor. Maybe your shirt size was wrong. If it's a shirt, whatever the thing is, I try to offer them a replacement first, and then we will offer them some sort of additional credit or whatever in exchange for changing the review. I have about a 40% success rate at changing negative reviews. That makes a huge difference, right? One of our listings has about 300 reviews. We probably got 40, 50 ones, probably 60 that aren't 5 stars. Right? If I can change a whole section of those, that makes a big difference. Now we're going from 4.3 rating review to a 4.5, right? And at scale, now it's harder to dilute that down because we have a lot of reviews. One bad review doesn't do anything to us. We still try to fix it, but you see what I'm saying? It locks you into a good place. And number 5, scaling. I see a lot of people ask me how to scale. I'm how much money are you doing? Oh, we're just starting. Are you profitable yet? No. So you want to scale. You want to scale unprofitable, right? You want more of unprofit. It doesn't make sense. So this is more of what's working once you get it working. Scaling comes from 6 things that I believe. There's probably some more little things, but your organic content, okay? How much content you're posting, your affiliates, how much content they're posting. This is one of the most important metrics. Just how many videos are going out every day on TikTok with your product tagged. Real influencer collabs. This is different. Paying actual influencers. On TikTok, you have creators, all the shit little affiliates that just promote products all day long. You have actual creators. Totally different. Okay, massively different. Ads, a lot of people need to tap into that. Product expansion, more products, more SKUs, right? More of what you're doing, more variants, more whatever. And then platform diversification, scaling off of there, right? My brand that we launched up here that I just showed you all the way up here, we launched on TikTok. Around this point, we got over onto Shopify and Amazon and started doing that. Now each of those, Amazon's doing 15 grand a month for us. Shopify's doing another 10 to 15, 10 to 12. Shopify, we're running a 22x return right now on every dollar we spent. And Amazon, I'm not spending anything on ads. We're doing 15 grand a month. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous margins, And so we're talking about insane numbers here. So that is the scaling side of things. So in summary, don't be a wuss. Put in the work, build that business, take the shot, do the work. A lot of people just give up after a week or two. Secondly, the only way to drop ship on TikTok Shop is with print on demand. So check out Printify. Collab with us here on this video. Big shout out to them. You can check it out down below. Great platform. Take your time. This is not a fast process. This is not Facebook ads to a Shopify store where you test products and I'm going to cycle 18 different products and see what works and try to get none of that. This is a little bit of a long-term play. So do it though, but it's sustainable. It's so awesome. And check out the resources link below. Guys, we have our school group. Super easy, 50 bucks a month, entry point, teach you everything you need to know about getting your feet wet with TikTok, how to start selling, all those things, whole community. There's a coach inside of there. I'm inside of there. There's 2 courses inside of there. And then we also have my more personal mastermind, my group with my elite students where we just focus more on this. You get to work with me multiple times a week. I'm personally involved in what you're doing. It's obviously way more expensive. We bring in about 4 to 6 people a month into that group, but you can apply for that down below. There'll be a little video and then you can fill out a form and book a call. But that's what we got. Check out the resources down below. I really hope this video answered some stuff for you. I came on the scene in 2016 as a 16-year-old, making really good money with like Instagram shout outs and then starting early with Facebook ads. But it was still kind of a battle. I was still new and the platform had been around for a bit. With TikTok, I've never seen something this simple, this easy, that we're this early to. So I think there's a really unique opportunity. And I see a lot of people, myself included, taking advantage of it. So I hope you do as well. If one of your goals is to build an e-commerce brand, then this should help answer a lot of those questions. So get started on TikTok Shop. It's been super cool for us, very profitable, and I really hope you enjoy this video. Leave a like, subscribe. I'd appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.